over the weekend, Shannon Sharpe actually responded. He gave a response to Ray Lewis appearing on Patrick Bet David. And so I want to share that with you guys. But before I do that, I got to remind y'all of what was said from Ray Lewis on Patrick Bet David's platform. And this is what was said.
Shannon Sharpe, did you think he was one day going to be a good TV guy personality?
Yeah.
So you knew he was made for TV?
Yeah.
And would he say he's going to do it?
Yes, he had already started prepping.
How much before he retired did he come?
Been started.
Oh, so he's known he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and him and Skip and Stephen A, all that stuff?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content.
Now, I want to stop there for a second before I go over to Shannon Sharpe's response, because a lot of people, feel like it's justified for Ray Lewis to say some of the stuff that he's saying, right? And I disagree with it. Of course, I disagree with it wholeheartedly. And I'll get into the disagreement part of it after I show you the Shannon Sharpe part. But this is what I want to show you on this. I'm going to rewind it and I'm going to play it again. And then I'm going to let y'all tell me what y'all see.
Much before he retired did he come?
Been started.
Oh, so he's known he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and him and Skip and Stephen A, all that stuff?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content.
Ray Lewis was not asked about Shannon Sharpe's content negativity, his situation, liquor, any of that. Ray Lewis was asked, was Shannon Sharpe prepping for a transition from football over into being a commentator and having his own shows and all of this stuff? And why is he surprised? Or why is he not surprised about his success? That is it. Patrick Bet David did not ask Ray Lewis about any of this stuff that he's volunteering. This is stuff that Ray Lewis has had in his heart, and he was just looking for a platform. And if somebody even opened up the door to allow for him to have a microphone, he was going to be saying this stuff. When people say, well, he was asked, no, he was not. Ray Lewis was not asked about Shannon Sharpe's decline, downfall, negativity, none of that stuff. The only thing that Ray Lewis was Shannon Sharpe prepping to make the transition? And if he's surprised at Shannon Sharpe's success. That's it. That is it. I had to go back. and rewatch it after people came up on my platform on Saturday and said, well, he was asked this. I said, no, I was thinking to myself, because I couldn't remember if he was asked it about it. And I said, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he did not. He was not asked about it at all. Yes, the hate was very much intentional. They did not ask his opinion on Shannon Sharpe's downfall or anything. And you know what the worst thing about it is? It's always been talked about. And I didn't even bring this up, and I'm not going to go into it in detail. But when Ray Lewis was facing some of the most tough times of his life, who did they say that was there for him the most? Who never spoke about his personal life issues publicly, but was there for his friend the most? When Ray Lewis was going through what he was going through and the whole world was against him, and he was facing all kind of charges and stuff like that, you know who was supposedly there for him the most? Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe. I ain't never heard in my life. And if y'all know what it is, y'all show it to me. Show me the clip. Show me where Shannon Sharpe ever spoke about Ray Lewis's personal life issues in a negative way whatsoever. Show it to me. Now, what I do know is Ray Lewis tried to do the same thing that Shannon Sharpe is doing right now. And he basically was on shows where he was giving his opinion on sports and stuff, and he got his butt kicked, and he didn't go the way that he wanted it to go because objectively they were debating and they were arguing, and Shannon Sharpe kicked his butt on a debate show when it came to sports. But when it comes to your own personal life, Ray Lewis didn't make the cut when it came to being a sports show, podcaster, talk show. Let's finish hearing what he got to say.
I wouldn't, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do any of this.
Like what?
Simply, I take drinking. Shannon, in my entire career, I've never saw Shannon with a drink. Ever. Like it was against the law, right? Because he had some stuff in his family that he didn't want to follow that. And then so I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route. Never can go that route. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance, right? A lot of times, a lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff, I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm in life to try to teach people what does it mean to be a better man or get back to the kingdom, And a lot of times, a lot of the guys get in trouble with these podcasts and things, man, because everybody wants the follower, everybody wants to be popular, everybody wants to make money, but that's a tight rope into what you call influence and popularity. Right? The devil has the ability to make you popular. God has the ability to give you influence that when people see you, they see an image of him. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing for me that started to switch with not just Shannon, but just a couple of people. I'm like, wow, you would switch out like that? Really? And I would never, ever. Why? Because of the respect that I have for my mother, my daughters, my granddaughters, life, period.
You talking about my personal family? You talking about things that I shared with you privately that ain't have nothing else to do, alcoholism and stuff that happened in my family and all of that stuff. And that's what you decide to volunteer on a massive platform like Patrick Bet David. That's what you decided to put out there. You put this out, you put in your volunteering information that nobody knew about, that nobody had any insight about. And this is the thing that you wanted to talk about. Anyways, he neither here nor there. We gonna leave it there. We're gonna go over to Shannon Sharpe. So Shannon, of course he heard it because we all hear stuff that people say about us. That's not new. We do. A lot of people, a lot of influencers try to act like they don't hear stuff or they don't know about stuff. They act like they don't hear it. They hear when people that they know say stuff about you specifically, you pay attention to what's going on. You absolutely pay attention. But this is Shannon's response.
And you can appreciate that. But like I said, I got nothing bad to say. Because a lot of things when you tolerate it, I'm gonna go ahead and say my thing. Whatever transpired, I'll bite my tongue. I'll be the bigger person. I'll walk away. Hey, you right. Because you know why, Ocho? It's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because your boy, you looking at him, he low-hanging fruit. And there are a lot of people taking your shot at your boy.
Come on now.
Y'all can have it. Y'all got it. Y'all got me. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. We're going to be all right, OJ.
Yeah.
That tribute say we're going to be all right.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
You know, as some people in the chat, they said Shannon seemed real hurt by this one. He looked hurt. And I think that he's justified in feeling hurt. He absolutely looks hurt. And I would be hurt by it too. I would be 100% brokenhearted by something that somebody says that was unwarranted and to throw you under the bus when we was roommates. We was roommates. You got my real number in real life. You got my real number in real life, and you decided that you wanted to say some wild stuff when I'm at my lowest. And that's what makes it hurt the worst, right? You ain't got nothing to say when I'm all the way up here. You got everything to say when I'm all the way down here. When I'm at my lowest that I've been in my life, in my adult life, when the whole world seemed like it's against me, when I'm seem like I'm losing everything. This is actually a blessing in disguise, personally. And, I don't think that Shannon has always made the right moves. I stand with Shannon when it came to the fact that I think that he was falsely sued and accused of something that he probably didn't do. I think that he got the bad end of the stick, and I think that ultimately he handled some things wrong when it came to criticism that was coming after him and stuff like that when he first started blowing up after the Cat Williams interview. But I've long stood objective as far as either I say things objectively about things that is happening in culture and popular media, but I don't know Shannon personally. I don't have his phone number. And so when he's at his lowest and he's rebuilding and he's trying to make sure that he's doing stuff and he's taking care of it, the last thing that you expect when something like that happens, the last thing you expect is for somebody that you actually know, that you know in real life, that you was roommates with, that you held down, that y'all probably slept on each other's couches and stuff like this. The last thing you expect is for that person. And it's not hurtful because of what's said. It's hurtful because of who said it. It's not hurtful because of what. If somebody that I know is a content creator react to me and they say, Anton is a piece of shit, I'm going to be like, I'm going to crack up like, yeah, I like the visibility. If somebody that I know personally that I grew up with that has access to me jumps on the internet and does a fucking Tasha K interview to say all of the things that they didn't like about me in high school, we got a problem. We got a problem. And I'm going to be hurt for that day. And then I'm going to get over it and I'm going to use it as motivation to continue to run the bag up. That's a blessing. It's a blessing. Sometimes when people show themselves, at least you know that they was a snake that you was hanging out with. You just didn't know it because they was in disguise. It's a blessing because now you know who's for you and now you know who's against you. When you go through stuff, it is the biggest blessing of all time because now you get to see who's who. You get to see who holds you down and who's willing to throw you under the bus, who was only opportunistic because they can come out, out with you and be able to benefit from your motion at the time. It's a blessing. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. And I stand on what I said on Saturday. I think that Shannon Sharpe, Ray Lewis, is a snake hiding behind the cloth of righteousness. It's self-righteousness. It's self-righteousness. And again, I'm going to say this, and now we're going to move over to the next part of the show, and I'm going to read the super chats. And we got after hours tonight. And more importantly, we make sure you tap into the Patreon in the beginning of the month if you're looking to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. I would just be hurt. I would be bothered by it a little bit. I would be absolutely bothered by it a little bit. I can't even cap. It would be bothersome to me because it's like, bro, we got a different type of play. We got a different type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, not you. You know what I'm saying? Not you, bro. I expect this from a lot of people. I know I got some enemies because that's just what comes with visibility and popularity in the play. But I wasn't expecting for you to do this. You know what I'm saying? Not you, bro. But this is the world that we live in. And the worst part about it is, like, it was the guy that came up on my panel, and respect to him, shout out to him because he has his own opinion. And it wasn't a volatile conversation, but it was just a little bit of a conversation. And he said, listen, if I get permission from the people around you to be able to say stuff about you, then I should be able to do that. And I said, what? What? See, look at the people with no profile picture. Shay did it to himself, should have moved differently. I don't know anybody Not one person on this earth that has not at some point in their life, whether they was children, whether they was a teenager, whether they were an adult, whether it was yesterday. I don't know one person in life that has not done something that probably was a mistake or probably was less than ideal. Not one person. But to see and have somebody that you know throw you under the bus publicly for it is crazy, bro. Crazy. You ain't got nothing else better to talk about. The only thing that you're going viral for is the fact that you was talking about Shannon Sharpe. I don't need them type of friends. I rebuke those type of friends. I pray fervently against those type of people being in my circle. Lord, and I say it. We ain't prayed today, have we? Lord, make sure that you keep these type of people from around the chasers. You know, bless us to have good character and bless us to have integrity. Bless us to, if we are going to spend an extraordinary amount of time with somebody, have a sense of loyalty and a sense of duty to do the thing that is loyal, not jump on the bandwagon when everybody's seen an opportunity to. And bless us to also apologize if we don't know the person and we said certain things and then we get cool with them. You don't just let that junk fly. You actually need to address it and be the man in the room. That's the first thing that I did with Fresh and Fit. I've never met Fresh and Fit in my life, but I chose sides based off of what was going on at that particular time and who I was cool with. And then I woke up one day as I continued to grow older and I initiated the contact and I talked to Myron and I said, hey, bro, what's going on, man? Listen, I was wrong. And then when we got a platform, it was unplanned. And as soon as we started the live stream, I said, hey, bro, I need to hold myself accountable because I didn't know y'all. And because I didn't spend time getting to know y'all when y'all were going through a personal, not content related, when y'all were going through something personal, when it was affecting your money, I had a conversation about it and I was wrong because I shouldn't have chose sides. I should have been a little bit more mindful in knowing that at some point I would have been able to find out the truth for myself. And I held myself accountable for that in front of them and on a public platform. Regardless of how you feel about other people, regardless about how the chat feels about them, I had to hold myself accountable because I got to be above it. It ain't too many real ones out here, bro. It ain't too many real ones, bro. At all. Absolutely, he should have. Ray Lewis should have told Shannon Sharpe that privately. No, let me tell you what Ray Lewis should have did, and then we're going to move on. Ray Lewis should have held his homie down, knowing that he was probably having an accountability on him in the first place. Listen, when somebody is going through something, when somebody is down, that's not the time to hold them accountable. I don't know what kind of friends y'all are. When somebody going through it, that's not the time to pile on it. Even privately, I'm not going to call my homie and say, hey, man, you know you're wrong for this and so on and so forth. They know they going through it. They already going through it. When everything starts to level out, they had a conversation with him and say, all right, bro, you know you got to move differently this time, right? So listen, I want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to hold you down. I don't want to tell you the things that everybody else is just going to say to yes men. I want to be real with you. That's what friendship is. When somebody going through something, you say, you know what? I got your back, bro. When everybody turn against you, if you need anything, just let me know. And when everything start to smooth out and they in a space where they starting to get it back together, then that's when you start to have the conversation with them. Hey, man, we need to talk for a second, bro. That's how you move. If you know that person in real life and you genuinely care about them.